Okay, today we're going to be making a batch of royal icing. And royal icing is the icing that's used on cookies, and it dries very hard. It's crunchy. It's also used to make decorations for wedding cakes, or if you've ever had any cakes or cupcakes that have the crunchy sugar hard decorations on, that's royal icing. So royal icing only uses 3 ingredients. It uses confectioner's sugar, warm water, and meringue powder. Meringue powder is dried egg whites, basically, and it will add a nice peak and stiffness to your frosting, so it's a must for royal icing. A bag of powdered sugar has approximately 9 cups in it, and we are going to be using 8 cups of powdered sugar as I am making a double recipe, okay? So the first thing you want to do is sift your confectioner's sugar. It's pretty important that you have nice fine sugar, and the easiest way to do this, since there's approximately 9 cups in this bag, is I'm actually just going to take out 1 cup of powdered sugar. Actually there's just a little over 9 cups of powdered sugar in one bag. So I have basically an overflowing cup of powdered sugar here, maybe just a little more we're going to take out. And I'm going to put that aside, okay? So now I should have 8 cups of powdered sugar in here. And I'm just going to sift this up. So I'm going to put it in my sifter. Notice I have a piece of parchment paper here underneath. I just sift straight on the parchment paper. Okay, so to this mixing bowl, I am going to add all of the ingredients at once. So I'm going to start. This requires 6 tablespoons of meringue powder, so I'm going to start with that. And actually, that's exactly what I had in the can, so I'm just adding the rest of the can. Okay, now I'm going to add the powdered sugar, and I will just use a measuring cup to put some of it in there until this gets low enough to just pick up the paper and dump it in there. Pick it up very carefully by pulling both of the ends together, and kind of dump it slow or it's gonna poof all over the place. Give it a little shake, and there we go. Okay? I'm going to start with 10 tablespoons because I want to make some thicker royal icing first. In here I have 8 cups of powdered sugar, 10 tablespoons of warm water, and 6 tablespoons of meringue powder. Start it on low. Now you see it's going to start getting thick fast, and it's going to have some shine to it. And when it starts getting a little too hard for your mixer, start adding 1 tablespoon at a time until it's mixing kind of a frosting like consistency. So basically what we're making here is a sugar cement. So you want to check your consistency before you start adding too much water, okay? So you can see here that it's extremely thick. It's still got some chew to it. It's got a little bit of pull to it, okay? But this is still just a little too thick. Now notice it's got kind of this shine to it, and it's kind of liquidy. This is by no means enough mixing. It's extremely sticky too. Okay, so I'm going to add another tablespoon. I'm now up to 12 tablespoons of water. And I'm going to keep mixing. Okay, you can see now that it's starting to pull away from the mixer a little bit, and it's kind of drippy. Okay? That's where you want it. Now you turn on your mixer and you let this go for at least 5 minutes. Okay, did you mix up for 5 minutes? If you did, then you would notice that now it's not drippy anymore. And some of the shine is now gone. And that's what you're aiming for when you mix royal icing. You're trying to get more of a dull color to it. When you mix for a long time with royal icing, and that's the key to making royal icing, is just let the mixer go. You're looking for a nice kind of fluff, like a marshmallow cream kind of texture, and trying to eliminate some of the shine. Okay, that's when you know you have it. Remember, you'll be putting this through a bag. This is actually stiff. If you were making flowers out of this, this would be a really great consistency. So, consequently, royal icing is how you put together gingerbread houses. That's the same frosting. So this is a little stiff than for what my purposes are. So I'm going to add a little bit more water. Oh, and I'm going to scrape down the sides. And now I'm going to add another tablespoon of water, taking this up to a total of 13 tablespoons. Okay? Turn it back on. Okay, before I get too mixing with it, I want to check my consistency again. It's still just a hair too thick. So now I'm going to add another tablespoon of water. Now I'm up to 14. Actually, I'm going to add 2 more. That's 15 tablespoons of water. Now that I've added some water, I'm going to scrape down my sides again and check my consistency as I go. Because if you add too much water, then, you know, you have to start over. So, or add more powdered sugar to it. And that's kind of a pain. You can just kind of make sure you babysit as you go. Okay, this is the consistency that I want. It's kind of pulling here. It's slightly runny. Not really, though. Not yet. But I'm going to be decorating some cookies with this. So, this is... As I mix this up more, it's going to thicken back up because we're incorporating air back into it. So when you get that shine back to it, and now it really looks like marshmallow cream, that's where I want it, okay? So kind of like pulling away like this with shine again. And now we should mix this for another 5 minutes, at least. So let me scrape the sides down again, and then we'll get to mixing it up again. So I just mixed that for another 5 minutes, and now you can see that the right consistency. It's starting to fall away from the beater, okay, and that will be a good consistency. It feels kind of fluffy. Again, some of the shine has left. It still has shine to it, and that's fine, but not like it was. So this is the consistency that I want for doing all of my writing or my stars or whatever decorations that I want to put on a frosted cookie. So I'm going to remove part of this and put it in a bowl for the decorations. So this is probably enough for the decorations. You always kind of want to have a little more than you think you need. Because you don't want to run out, and then you don't want to have to make a whole new batch just for the last few bits of your cookies. So we're going to put this aside. When you are storing your royal icing while you're not working with it, you want to keep it covered with a damp cloth. Royal icing dries very fast. In fact, you probably noticed that the edges of the bowl probably are already getting crusty. So always just put a damp cloth over what you're not using. And we're just going to put that aside. Okay, now I want to thin this down so it's frostable for the tops of the cookies. And how I do my cookies is I paint the frosting on. So I'm going to add a couple more tablespoons of water. And now I'm up to 16 tablespoons of water, but that was before I took any out. So just start with a couple more tablespoons. It's gonna be, you want it to be runny. You want it to be like a paint, nice paint consistency, okay? So let's do it again. Okay, so keeping in mind that we want it kind of like a paint consistency. The shine is definitely gonna come back now, that's not a problem, but it's still too thick. So this we don't have to beat down to get the peaks in or anything like that. We're just thinning it down at this point. So let me scrape the sides down again. And now I'm going to add 2 more tablespoons of water, taking me up to a total of 18 tablespoons at this point. Okay, let's check out what we have now. This is exactly where I want this. It's not runny like water, but it is dripping off my spatula here. That's very nice and smooth looking. And that's it. That's where we want it, okay? This is for frosting your cookies right here. How beautiful is that? And that's it. So now you have a batch of thicker frosting here for doing your decorations or your writing on the cookies, and a nice batch here for frosting your cookies, okay? Notice the difference in the shine. This is way shinier than this one. So that's kind of how you can also tell along with your consistency. All right, well, thanks for watching, and we will see you in class.